Someone who thinks the card is good.
Did you take a screenshot?
Huh?
No.
No, I don't know what the cards are. Well, I mean, I know what some of them are. Let's take a screenshot. What do I look like? This ain't the NBA on TNT.
We were talking about
Can we get Charles? We talked about a lot of NBA. Because at one point...
No, we get Frank Caliendo, though.
Alright, so I'm going to go ahead and pull out all the cards that I already know about, which are all the old cards, which are really good. Your mana is really good, too.
Seems fun.
Yeah, I know you came here today thinking, man, I hope I get this Ricci Tiger.
The Tiger is very good.
I know
especially in sealed.
I know it's good. If you go back and look at our archives, during the Gate Crash pre-release, I think Alec Myers or somebody was playing that, and the chat was like, "Oh, that card's garbage." I'm like, I think it's really good in these tempo matchups where it can block and gain incremental life, and then started showing up in real people's decks and real limited. So you've got. We'll just go through them briefly. I don't need to show them all, but Sky Knight Legionnaires, Ricci Tiger, Martial Glory, which is a combat trick, Daring Skyjack. You got a Smite, Centaur Healer, Bomber Core, and of course the. It's a pretty good combo, right? Boris Reckoner and 3 lands is a pretty good combo, isn't it? The best combo in Standard right now is 5 lands and Tag Tusk.
I can't agree with that. About 8 land and 6 is Revelation.
Or 6 lands in Aurelia. So you've also got a Homing Lightning.
We call that Homing Lightning?
Yeah, which is just another removal spell. That, of course, from Gate Crash as well. And then you got a couple of these guys. What do you feel about this guy? The 3/1 flying first striker.
He's okay. It's just kind of like every limited format has the 3-power flyer that costs 5.
Mm-hmm.
But
this one is hard to remove in combat.
He wins all the combats, yeah.
Yeah, and as Garrett was pointing out, the fact that it does cost 5 is actually not as much of a deterrent in the sense that oftentimes when you get to 5 and play this, someone has used their removal spell already. Yeah. So the one toughness is not as much a liability as it might be.
It's not going to get mugging.
Yeah, just about every removal spell gets him anyways. Mugging...
Well, yeah, that's what we're talking about. There's so much unqualified removal that it's not is Electricity the only thing, or a very small,
even
whatever that...
Or something.
Yeah.
And then in the new set, there's a card that gives -4, -2.
Yeah. You got Tristani's Judgment, which is an old card as well. Just an all-around removal spell.
I'd much rather it be like an Angelic Edict.
Yeah, you got the Chapel, you got the Sunspire Griffin, which is the Chapelgeist of the format. I don't know. I think those guys are always solid. You can't be upset with well-costed flyers. Then you've got Armadillo Cloak 2.0.
It kind of like what I was looking
at. Courage.
When I was making it, it was like there wasn't enough to be super aggressive. There was
yeah, you're more mid-range.
There weren't enough battalion guys. It really came together a lot like a blue-white flyers deck.
Yes.
More than anything.
I would agree.
Plays defense very well.
Yeah. You've also got the Rebel Belt Maka, the 3/3 Blood Rush guy. Seems fine. Sometimes you just need a Hill Giant, right?
Yeah, Hill Giants are always good. Give him a bonus.
Yeah, and it's Blood Rush for 1 is pretty relevant too. I mean, it's like a Lightning Bolt. I don't know. I think Blood Rush is a really good mechanic. And then you got the Pyrowild Shaman, which is the Blood Rush guy that you can rebuy. Is it when if a creature does damage?
Creature does damage to a player.
Yeah, you can rebuy him for 3, so it gives you some inevitability.
He plays well with all the flyers.
Yep. Then you've also got your top end. We saw this one, the first packs you opened, which is Rurik Thar. There's really no reason not to play this guy, right? He's a 6/6 vigilant guy. The rest of the text is just gravy, right?
Yeah.
If they can't, if they have a removal spell, all right. I mean, that's a pretty good trade-off, right?
The way I kind of look at him is that there's a lot of talk of him as not being very exciting, and it's it's a Titan, all the Titans.
Oh, yeah, I think I mentioned on the stream before, the cards like this, everybody's oh, I don't know if that card's that good. It's the Primeval Titan ruined Magic for for 2 years. It was a 6/6 for 6 that did something. This card's perfectly fine. I'm gonna play this guy, and then when you cast Supreme Verdict, it's yeah, that's perfectly fine. Frost Titan was the win condition in blue-black decks for months, and when you untapped and cast Day, nothing happened. This guy at least gets some incremental damage in. What about this guy? I was talking about how I hate these guys.
I just wanted another big beater.
Is it just you just need a playable?
Yeah, he's easy to cast.
He's not of all of these. He's not like the most egregious. Then of course the Maze Behemoth. There's a cycle of them for every color. That one, and they all have a keyword, and they all give multicolored creatures the same keyword. And this is trample. Yep, it's very relevant. That's basically how you built your deck, was to give. You were looking for that combo. Then you've got Gleam of Battle, which is an enchantment. Whenever a creature you control attacks, put a +1/+1 counter on it. That seems really good, especially since you're I mean, it does cost 6, but as much late game as you have anyway. Like those the 3/1 flyer gets a lot better once you start pumping them up Whirling Dervish style.
It was almost a full cycle.
You're someone who can appreciate a Whirling Dervish reference, can't you? There's not many people in here that could. Do you know what Whirling Dervish does? Because it's a horrible card from, like, actually it was fun back in the day, but like it's so outclassed now.
It's all played back in the day.
In the very first Pro Tour finals, Vishono First Blade, 2/2 for 3 haste, and the turn it comes into play, it's basically a 4/4. I think that guy's really good.
Did you? Yeah, super solid draft pick.
And you had the Legionnaire already, right? Skynet Legionnaire?
Yeah.
Was the one that we were good. And then the last two cards, the last two non-land cards we've got here are 2 Clue Stones. What is your overall opinion of Clue Stones in general?
I haven't really got to play with them, but it's just kind of like a Mind Stone. I mean, it's always good. Like the way I was kind of looking at it when I was building it is like I just want to be able to cast my spells. Like my spells should be better than other people's spells, and so I figure as long as we get to cast our spells, then we're gonna be fine. Those really help that, and then they're never dead.
Well, we were talking earlier. Like this is very similar to the Alara block. When the third set of Alara came out, and it's all gold, and you're normally in draft you want to be in like a 2-color deck. Like it seems in this draft format, like 3 colors is the new 2 colors, and so you just need as much fixing as you can have anyway. Like they're never dead cards, like you said. I mean, you can't cycle them, and it's like a kind of a worse Mind Stone and kind of a worse Signet, but in between it's perfectly fine for limited.
Cliff Marker disagrees.
What's he say?
Said it suck.
They suck?
They suck.
They suck for constructed.
Right.
Like Chromatic Lantern exists, but I don't know. We're also not playing constructed.
It also sucks when it's like turn 6 and you just have 3 green spells in your hand you can't cast.
Yeah,
yes.
Like, being able to cast your spells is pretty good.
You heard it here first, folks. Being able to cast your Magic cards, a key to winning.
I mean,
would you say that's a Dave Snow pro tip?
I watch Michael Jacobs stream all the time. Decks that I would put 17 lands in, a lot of times puts 18 lands in. His argument is like he just likes casting his spells.
It doesn't matter if you can't cast them.
I always thought it was fun too, listening to Ben Stark talk about Gatecrash draft at the Pro Tour, talking about like the Blood Rush decks. Like he really just wants to put 16 lands in his Blood Rush decks, because that way, if you get flooded on lands, you can cast your Blood Rush guys, and if you get tight on lands, you can just Blood Rush them all. Like I would have never thought of that being like a. I mean, it makes so much sense when someone who's good at Magic explains it. Any notable cards in the ones that didn't make the cut? Do you have any that you're thinking to bring in against X matchup, or is it pretty much the 23 playables are in there?
No, there's a few sideboard cards in there. There's like a Sundering Breath. The last cut.
That's the disenchant populate guy.
Yeah. The last cut was Aerial Maneuver.
Yeah, we saw that for a while, and we were talking about it, because like that card can be like a total, like, I mean, I know that I'm preaching to the choir here, but like just one little combat track can change the entire course of a game, and that's a very good one, because it's very, very well costed, and just, first strike is a blowout sometimes.
I just felt like I was gonna be like my creatures I was attacking with don't need the trick. Like it's typically really good in like a Boris deck where it's like you
want to save some guy.
You're getting in with like a Daring Skyjack and like a Wojciech Halberdiers. Like you're swinging with your 2 guys and you don't want to trade them with garbage.
Yeah, battalion kind of forces you to suicide your guys to get the triggers, and that one basically just saves one of them.
Right. So
it's a total combo with Rurik Thar too.
Yeah, you didn't want to. First strike, my Rurik Thar takes that 6/6.
But I mean, it's in this kind of deck, like where it's not super aggressive. It's more like a mid-rangey kind of stall around and get your Flyers deck, it doesn't seem as good. But it's a reasonable sideboard preference than say like an Orzhov deck or like a Esper deck, like so you can like get their Kingpin spets and such.
Yeah. Yeah, I was looking at. Did you see much of what Yin opened in his pool? Well, I don't know what he saw in your pool, but he opened Abrupt Decay, which is going to be great in the Dave Snow matchup for Boris Reckoner. But Garrett was talking about it. It's not actually that great against a lot of stuff in the form. I mean, it still kills a lot of stuff, but it's not nearly as powerful as it would be in Constructed. But still 2-cost removal spell. I would never not play it. That's what I'm talking about. But it just seemed funny that you open the Reckoner and he opens the perfect answer to Reckoner. And then what was it? Was there something else? But he got a lot of Extort too. He actually got. I was always fearful of Orzhov in this new format because there's just not enough. There's like no Extort. There's like one Extort card in the new set.
Yeah, I think opened one. There's a couple.
But there is not that critical mass by any means. And then you're kind of leaning on opening enough Orzhov Extort guys in your guild pack, or just getting lucky for it. But you had a pretty good amount. I think you had like five solid Extort guys, and they're not like the Extort guys that are unplayable. They're
Shooting Tides, the 140 Defender.
Yeah, some good spells. But in this, like I said, in this format, just to get. Like, there's a reason they put guild gates in every pack. Like, they want you to build multicolored decks.
Right.
And so you have to go, much like you had to go to green to flesh out the whole thing, like, you got to go to green as well to flesh out his Orzhov deck.
One of the daily MTG articles they were talking to about the clue stones, where they made them bad enough to where you didn't have to try to make that first pick decision as to where do I need to pick my fixing early and then hope I get spells, or pick my good spells and then hope I run good in the matches.
Were you playing in the original Ravnica?
I've played a bit of the full set block. Like I have.
Does that come up with signets?
It comes up more with bounce lands.
Oh, bounce lands. Yeah, where you just decide, do I want this? Because with bounce lands, you can also play less lands, right? You can play 16 instead of 17 if you have a couple bounce lands.
It seems like before people really got in the know about how sick those were, was people would just play like 15 lands.
Oh.
They'd have like 6 bounce lands. But
Makes you.
I didn't play a whole lot then.
Well, I was just curious if I was directly relating it to signets, but because I remember there's only a moderate amount, but people were talking about where they're going to reprint the signets. It's like they're never reprinting the signets. Like they would just dominate the entire Constructed for 18 months, and like Limited would just be the Wild West. And
if you go back and watch, like they do Gate Crash block draft reveals sometimes. Like Pack 2 is just which lands and signets.
And then whichever bomb you open at whatever point you can just take. So, I don't know. Like you say, I think it's pretty interesting. They've designed it to, I think it's pretty worded for, it's like they're just bad enough that you don't have to worry about it like dominating the format. Because they're perfectly fine Limited card, but I think they'll never see play outside of that, and occasionally in Commander, I guess. I don't even like it in Commander because like
Trading Post.
Nope, you just broke the format.
I'd still rather just play. If I was doing that, I'd still rather play like a Grimwall Square.
In Commander, I want to play my Mana Acceleration. I want to be Grim Monolith and Mana Vault.
Yes.
If something that costs 3 mana, I want it to basically, like, on third turn I can cast Buried Alive, or I can cast Clue Stone.
Well, you can also make the comparison.
It's not even good enough for that.
I'd rather have Keyring than Clue Stone. If you want to
you can cycle it, I guess. Not that exciting. You said you played yesterday at the Two-Headed Giant event at the other store. What
Ben Angel?
Yeah, they were called Team Pro Points.
I ended up...
Did you ever play the Pro Tour?
No.
Ben did, though, didn't he?
No.
Oh, I thought he went to one.
No, he's played Nationals a few times. We played the Junior Nationals. That counts as Pro Tour.
I'm counting. Official judge.
No, I queued for the first Honolulu, but didn't go. That was during the times when I thought they used to do, instead of giving you a plane ticket to the Pro Tour, they used to do a $250 travel voucher if it was in the States and $500 outside of the Continental. So it was a tournament for Honolulu. So I thought I'd just play in for a sweet 500. So went, won, and it was like, congrats, you got a plane ticket. I was like, oh, plane ticket doesn't pay my rent.
I would like to see you try, though. Here you go. Oh, no.
Trade this.
I have a vacation to Hawaii.
Should be fine. Should be fine. Okay. The old screensaver popped up. It's been a while since,
We're good.
Yep. So just, do you have any idea how much time is left on the...
Deck building on it. It sounds like chairs are moving, but I don't...
That is the role players. That will be happening all day.
The game that they're role-playing is called House Redecorated.
Oh, that's fun. You can come by my apartment.
Roll 6 to hang drapes. Critical hit! Yeah. So I guess we're just waiting ever so slightly for them to start up. What's going on in the chat? All 7 people that are watching?
Right there on the FedEx shirt on.
Yes. So like Garrett works in FedEx, and like so when we come for F&M, like he just comes right from work, and then there's just like one week when goes, why does that guy always wear a FedEx shirt? Why does anyone wear a uniform at any job they go to? Like I just love in that guy's mind that he thought. Garrett must really love. I was like, or does he like only have one shirt? Is that just like his Friday shirt? Like, would you wear a FedEx? Like, it's not just like a T-shirt. It's a uniform shirt. It's like you would just go and buy that. Just, yep, it's my Friday shirt.
I've actually told the story before. I will wear my FedEx uniform if I'm not going to work, but going to something where wearing my FedEx uniform will benefit me. It's like the DMV.
Because at the DMV, they get their paychecks from FedEx. So they're very nice to them. Because they're excited. Well, it's more of like subliminal, I figure. They're excited to see you.
And they also help out. I mean, like you get benefit of the doubt more times than not if you're a professional driver.
I was going, this is non sequitur, but Friday after F&M, I was going home, and they're on 34, right in the valley. Every 6 months they have like a sobriety checkpoint.
Right.
And I always go through there, and I always go through that point where I have to see them, and I decide, all right, what am I going to tell them I was doing? Because they always ask, where are you coming from? And I always just generally say playing cards with friends. That usually is, first of all, that's correct, and also gets the job done. But just one day, I just want to go through there and say, I was planeswalking through the mystical world of Dominaria, slinging my spells against my opponents. So we're going to need you to pull over. And the woman too, like, because my ID doesn't have, I don't have a beard then, because I got it years ago.
Right.
And the woman was like, she was trying to, I forget exactly how she worded it, but she was trying to make a comment about how, like, you look a lot different, which is obvious and doesn't need to be said, but she said it in a way, it's like the most offensive way possible. It's like, oh, you look so much older with this or whatever. It's like, oh, you look like 10 years. It's like, thanks.
You look better in this driver's license.
Yes, can I go home now? Are you done making fun of me, ma'am? There's also funny because they're like, it's 12:30 at night on Taze Valley Road.
Right.
Like in between where everyone lives.
Yeah, you're in front of someone's house.
I'm in front of 2 churches and a funeral home. And there are like, no joke, 30 state troopers. And like they have like the little wagon where like the trailer they pull, like so if they need to go to give the restaurant.
Z-Rock is there.
Yeah, we're live broadcasting from the it's 2 for Tuesday down here at the sobriety checkpoint on Taze Valley Road. Come on down, sign up for rush tickets. I was just like, what do you got? I mean, who do you think you're going to catch here? And if you do, like, you just need about like 3 guys. You need like one guy to stop in each direction and one guy to, when they just blow past, to chase them down.
Yeah.
My boss's daughter at work did that once. Like, her and her friends. I guess is there a curfew now for like young drivers, like 16?
If you have 16 to 18 driver's license, it's like 10 o'clock.
But so like it was like 1 a.m. or whatever, and they were like over at a friend's house, and they wanted to go like Taco Bell. It was like it was very much like a completely innocuous thing.
Right.
They want to go to Taco Bell, and they had a sobriety checkpoint. So like she knew she had to like she'd get in trouble for being out past curfew and driving. So she just turned around in the middle of the road and started driving away. It doesn't work. She got her dad was just like, so like he took the car away from her. It was just funny. Because like she had like this orange Mustang. That's what they got her for when she turned 16 or whatever. And so like for like several months her dad was driving the orange Mustang to work. I'd be like, why do you have Allie's car? You don't want to know. Now he's back to Ford Escape with chipped windshield.
Nice.
He's back to Dad's car. There's only like, do you know how many people are out there? It looked like maybe 16?
Give or take, yeah.
Mm-hmm. But it's all ringers. It's all like people that are competent Magic players. There are no casuals at this one.
The
So what I'm saying is like it's like very low quantity, but it should be pretty good quality of play. So is Michael Taylor's playing?
No, he's not playing today.
He's just railbirding you,
Just hitting the trades.
hitting the sweet trades. Is there any red cards in this format he wants? Or?
Probably.
while we're still selling this out, I'm going to go trade Mike Taylor because he has Gaze of Granite.
All right. Garrett is all in on this Gaze of Granite card. Do you know what it is?
Yeah, I've got one. I'll trade it.
Sweet.
Try to find out from JB when they're starting this thing. Because there can't be much time. I mean, it's been an hour, right? Isn't that how long it's supposed to take?
I think that's how long they usually give us, an hour.
So we haven't seen you here at F&M in a while. You still on Flash?
That's what I've been playing, yeah.
But now the metagame's going to shift.
Yeah, I've been looking to cast 5/5 make a worm card.
Advent on the Worm?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that card's like really good. Are you been playing it like a Snapcaster deck or?
Yeah.
Like, isn't that card amazing?
I don't know. I haven't had a chance to cast him yet.
It's an instant. If the card just this is the thing I always complain about.
JB not going to what he said that they'll be sending in the next few minutes.
Okay. Thanks. I always talk about this stuff about how like when I was playing Magic originally, but you can commiserate with this. Like if the card was just a 5/5, it has trample, right?
I don't think so.
Advent on the Worm. Let's look it up. I think it does.
You used to have to pay 4 mana for a 5/5 with a drawback. Now it says flash.
Yeah, it has trample.
Even better.
It's a 4. It's basically back in the day, if you paid 4 mana for a 5/5 with trample, that was just good enough. And now you can do it at instant speed, and you can play it in a format that has Snapcaster Mage. I don't understand why, I don't know, have you seen this, Vant Delver list that people are playing? It's not, really popular, but it's, kind of teetering on the...
I've seen, the blue-green version.
Yeah, well, there's, a white version, too, that splashes for, basically just so you can play Orzhov Charms. Well, no, or was it something else? Well, Joseph Deal has played it before, but it occasionally shows up in, those daily deck lists, there's one that makes it... But, I don't know, doesn't that deck, just love that card?
It should. The thing I was looking to do is, there's the Bant decks that just play all the enchantments and suit them up on
the
invisible
hexproof guys?
summons. Yeah, the hexproof deck. And I played it online for a few days. It was garbage, but
it's really good in some metagames.
Yeah, if you're running good, it's the best deck in the format. But
there's some decks that can't beat it.
Yeah,
but
the thing with it is I really liked the 8 mana elves along with the Geist and Luxcon Smiter. And so the thing I was kind of looking with Advent of the Worm is you can kind of play that package, and then you can just play a flash deck after that.
Mm-hmm.
You still have the Snapcasters, the Restoration Angels. I was looking to dabble with some Drag Tusks because there's so much value. But beyond that, it's you can just play a giant guy on turn 2, and then just play everything else on there.
Yeah, I think it's funny that we've gotten to the point in Magic where, playing a Mana Dork into an uncounterable 4/4 on turn 2 is, not even really good enough for a lot of decks.
I definitely don't like Loxodon Smiter or Geist of Saint Trap because they don't do anything.
That's what I love. It's just Geist of Saint Trap it's not good enough.
It does. It's just a creature that doesn't do anything. He's really efficient. It's like Tarmogoyf. I don't like him either because they just don't do anything.
They attack for 4 on turn 3.
Who really needs to do that?
Some decks.
Cast a Sphinx's Revelation.
Attacks for 7 on turn 3.
I hate Sphinx's Revelation so much.
Attack for 7 on
the card's obviously really good. It's just it slogs the game down so much. You know what I mean? It's just we had an example a few weeks ago where in the semifinals, Cliff was playing a junk deck against Brandon Gibbs, who's playing that Prime Speaker Bant deck, and Cliff had basically just exhausted all his resources, and then then Brandon was down to like 1 card left in his hand, and it was Sphinx's Revelation for like 6. And then just like right back into it. And it just feels so. First of all, like watching games like that, like it's fun playing, but nobody wants to watch that. It's just the most boring Magic in the world. It's just like, oh, the game was over? Nope. Now it's back. But it's not the only one that does that in this format. Like, Thragtest's the same way.
Yeah.
There's a lot of, like, whoops, I accidentally win the game cards in Standard now.
To be fair, like, Verdict's the same way.
There's always been a Wrath of God effect.
Right. But it's still, you just 4-4 yourself? Okay.
But that's always part of Magic. There's never been such a control card like that where, and it's not even, I say control, but there's maybe like one real control deck left in the format. Like everything is like this hybrid in between, but there's just never been a card that just comes back from the brink like that. Just there's so much resources.
That's the thing that Sphinx's Revelation lets you do. Is like it lets you come back in the games. Like it's your comeback card.
Mm-hmm.
Like that's why I generally just don't like creatures. It's like
you just don't want to win for the attack step if you absolutely have to.
Well, that's why Bam
You just play 2 Aurelius and just protect them.
She'll get you for 12.
That's why Bam was so good for a while, because I played the 2 most forgiving cards in the format, Thragtest and Sphinx's Revelation.
That was what was so brutal about that summer of Callblade, which was that, like, in the Callblade mirror, the best player is going to win almost every time, and that's what everybody talked about. All the pros loved it because they thought they could, it's basically just a summer of arrogance where everybody's just like, this is a great format because I think I'm better than all my opponents, so this gives me at least the illusion that I can always win based on the outcome. But in reality, like, those cards are just so, like, Jace and Stoneforward, the Squadron Hawk, and Gideon and Dave Judgment were just the most forgiving cards possible. Like, there's just so many instances.
Zach, I have pairings.
Okay.
I forgot to print them out. I'll print them in a few minutes.
Okay. No big deal. I'll just grab 2 people. We're gonna have round 1. Good luck, Dave. Thanks for sitting in. Feel free to come in for chat. You do have one of my favorite quotes. You do have one of my favorite quotes in the history of the stream, which is that one time you came in when you were drawing in, and I was talking about somebody, and you're like, he's quite the wordsmith. I remember that one. All right, let's go get a feature.